What's going on, guys? Welcome to the first week of Dugout Talk. Little new show that we're trying to do here. Kind of shares our experiences. We all played college baseball together. Now we're kind of taking these different paths in the baseball world. So we're going to try to just be entertaining and stuff, and then try to help you guys learn from our journey and our path. So we're going to talk a little bit, about our stories and kind of where we started, where we're at now, and I'll kind of lead us off. And I'll introduce Kramer and Cooper, but I'll let them talk more about it. But like I said, we were all college teammates, a small Division I school in Maryland. And Kramer played outfield, and then Cooper was our pitcher. But I'll let them talk about their journey after. So for me, I'm from Northern Virginia, and I went to a Division II school out of high school. It's probably 150 pounds, not much kind of going on for me. That was about my only offer, and I had some D3 offers. So I took that. That was COVID had happened the first year there. And then I had left. There was a coaching change, and I went to junior college down in Southern Virginia. That's where I actually met Kramer. And then played well enough there to sneak out of there and make my way out to Mount St. Mary, small Division I school in Maryland, Northeast Division I conference. Super cold, but did that. Played there for 2 years, got in the portal, lived the transfer portal life for a little bit. Decided I wanted to get into coaching because I had surgery and just thought it was the best route for me. And then I took a director of baseball operations role there. I got to do some associate scouting with the Baltimore Orioles. And then I just in July took a job down at UNC Greensboro, a Division I school in the SoCon. And I'm currently doing player development and operation stuff here. So cool experience for me, and I'm happy. I'm happy where I'm at now, and I wouldn't change anything. And I'll kind of pass it on to Kramer. I'll talk about his journey and what where he's at now.
Yeah, so my name is Jason Kramer. Growing up, I always aspired to play Division I baseball. In high school, I talked to a bunch of Division I schools, went on some visits, but other schools pulled the trigger and offered me. So I decided after I got done with those visits, and no one offered me, it was to go the junior college route. So just like Tristan said, I went to a junior college in Southern Virginia. I went there out of high school, so Tristan and I didn't play with each other my freshman year. So my freshman year was COVID, and then sophomore year had a pretty good year, and I got the ability to go to transfer up in Queens at St. John's, and then after that, I wanted to play a little bit closer to home, and went to Mount St. Mary's in Maryland. What are you guys laughing?
This is just one thing that you're gonna have to deal with because, like, just being such good friends, it's like when you give the group presentation in high school
It's a group
and your buddy's in
presentation
the
all the
class,
way.
and your buddy's in the class, and you just can't help but laugh. That's what you'll have to deal with for us. So,
Continue, Kramer. I'm sorry.
yep, continue.
Yeah, I'm like,
But
I was doing great with Tristan and everything, and then I see both you guys start smiling. I'm like, what? I didn't say anything crazy yet, did I?
no,
So
no, you didn't. I saw Coops laughing and smiling. I just couldn't hold it.
yeah, so then I finished up at the Mount my last 2 years. I loved it there, and I had a passion. I always wanted to coach. I always wanted to give back my information to other guys, especially on our teams and stuff like that. So I applied to a school kind of right next to me, interviewed for it, and then got the job at Gettysburg College. We're Division III in the Centennial Conference. I'm the assistant coach there. I work with the outfielders and the hitters there. So it's been a really good experience, and I'm glad that the journey happened to lead me to this point. So go ahead, Coop.
All right. Hi, guys. I'm Cooper Adams. I'm from Potomac, Maryland. I had kind of an interesting journey as well as these guys. I was a guy in high school. I went to a place called St. John's College High School. I was a really skinny kid. Didn't really know if I was going to pitch or hit. I really wanted to go the hitting route, but realized I was probably a better pitcher than a hitter. Ended up hitting 90 my senior year of high school. Committed to University of Maryland, Baltimore County, a small D1 in Baltimore County. Played there for 3 years. We had the COVID year, and just decided that it'd be better for my future to transfer to Mount St. Mary's. I transferred in with Tristan, and obviously became very close friends with him. Played there for 2 years, met Kramer my last year. We all became very close. I finished up as the Friday night guy my last year at Mount and was throwing 89, 92, struggling with some velo stuff. Didn't really have great off speed. Spent basically didn't get drafted. Spent 6 months developing myself, getting stronger, getting bigger, and getting my mechanics better. Went down to Tread Athletics in North Carolina and went through in their pro day, and I was sitting 95 to 96. Developed a good new changeup, a sweeper, and I got signed by the Boston Red Sox. Played my first official year in pro ball in high A this year. Made a bunch of different changes and stuff like that, and had a pretty solid year. And now I'm in the Arizona Fall League, struggling a little bit, but having a blast. And then going into my second official pro season this year.
Yeah, and like the struggle part, obviously it's part of it. Like everybody struggles in the baseball world. Like we all did it, and kind of like telling you guys our story once, so you guys kind of know about us, and as you get to know us. But I think it's super important just to know like we all had different paths. Like Cooper goes D1, like Coop, you go D1 out of high school. Kramer, you go JUCO out of high school, and I go D2, and then we kind of all end up at the same school and kind of doing different things. But I think that that's important for people to understand, is because a lot of kids are chasing to play Division 1 ball and stuff, and some bloom late than others. And I think that the college is just a consistent development. Like there's never like that moment where it stops. And if it does, then then you've kind of maxed out. And I don't think you really know your true potential, or you never maximize your true potential. And so it's awesome, obviously, to see Coop still playing pro ball and stuff. And then Kramer had a way better career than I had. I had okay. I got fisted a couple times, flipped a couple of balls over first baseman head, and was able to just squeak past over 300. So, but I think that that's super important for people to see our different journeys and stuff like that. And I mean, wouldn't you guys say?
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I think it's like really unique to have three guys that are like really close to each other, but all had different paths, and we all converged and became really good friends, and understood that like we needed those steps out of high school, or the setbacks, for us to be where we're at right now. So I think it's really, really good for us.
And another thing that I think is like super important, and I guess we don't want to hit on everything because people are going to listen to 40, 50-minute conversation, but like kind of coming out of junior college, like where I had that offer from JMU, they're in the Sun Belt now. I think they're CAA at the time, and or Mount St. Mary's. Like a lot of guys would probably pick the JMU kind of route and stuff like that. But I think it's important knowing you're out. You got to play every day, like get developed, and the only way you're going to do that is playing every day and being important and that kind of thing, and putting yourself in a good environment and stuff. So it's not all about chasing the Division 1 and going to play at Tennessee or Florida straight out of high school. Some of those kids, um, I think it's a cool story to talk about Christian Moore, right? When that 2022 that team was really good at Tennessee. They were
Yeah,
stacked,
they were gross.
like, and he's pinch hitting, and he's still a first round draft pick. And it's
Yep.
like, sometimes that happens, and sometimes it doesn't. So just go somewhere where you're going to play and stuff like that. So,
Well, I think it's huge too, because when you go to a place and you have the opportunity to play, you have the opportunity to show your skill set, be able to develop your game, learn. One thing I've learned in pro ball is how important experience is. I mean, obviously, learning it here in the fall league too is just, half the reason I got sent down here was I'm working on a bunch of new pitches, and the experience of actually throwing them in the game versus throwing them in a bullpen are completely different, situations, scenarios, all that type of stuff. So when you're almost only playing fall ball, and then in the spring you're basically just throwing bullpens, or you're, obviously not getting as many hacks as you want against live pitchers, you're not able to develop to the player that you want to be, right? And there's obviously a lot of players that started off their freshman, sophomore year not playing, then they get the opportunity their junior year, they take off and obviously, get drafted. But there's also a lot of guys that go to lower schools, you know, develop, dominate, and end up, especially now with the transfer portal and everything, end up at bigger schools, able to, have success and obviously have a chance of getting drafted. But it's also understanding too that, getting drafted is great, and that's obviously the goal. But there's also a lot of different routes to getting to where you want to be.
Absolutely. I think another thing too, for like kind of Kramer and I talk about, and you too, Coop, is like we failed at some point in our baseball career, and some kids don't understand that. Some people, even in the real world, like you're gonna fail, and it'll lead you to where you kind of need to be. And we kind of each failed at a spot. Like when I was playing Division II baseball on 150 pounds, I think I was legitimately probably the worst player there at the Division II school. It was a self-confidence thing for me. I had no confidence. I was kind of fearful. I didn't know if I could play college baseball coming out of high school. And then it kind of flipped when I was able to go to Patrick Henry. Kind of credit that to our head coach there. He kind of instilled some confidence into me. And the hitting coach, he's actually in the Giants organization now. He was the hitting coach at Charleston. He kind of just those two things and the hard work and day in and day out kind of built some confidence, and I was a totally different player there. But I failed there, like, and if I didn't keep working, then I wouldn't have gone JUCO and played pretty well there to move on and play Division I baseball. But can you guys kind of hit on me failing, Kramer, you go to St. John's, doesn't quite work out, and then Cooper, at UMBC, you guys want to talk about like how failing is important and kind of going from there?
Yeah, I mean, so for me, like when I was at St. John's, like I did not play my best, and um, I learned a ton during that year. And I think for me, like when I transferred from St. John's to the Mount, it was more of like a believing that I could be there, right? I failed a lot at St. John's. I didn't play my best, and I think that a lot of it was doubt, right? It was like, can I play Division I baseball? Can I be on the same level as these guys? So for me to overcome that, right, you got to have good teammates that really support you. You got to have great coaches that really support you, and then you just got to have the and trust in the Lord. Tristan and I talk about this, and we'll get into it a little bit later. But you just got to trust in the Lord and trust everything that's going on around you, and all the people that are around you, because they're there for a reason, and you guys were out on that Mount team for a reason to bring me up and to make me more of a confident player. So failures is something that's going to happen at any level. It's just how you respond to it and what you do with it. I think the biggest thing for me was just learning from it. Was saying, okay, I'm doing something wrong. Now, how do I fix it, and what do I do to for this not to happen the next time? So if I can do that and start building off of that, success is going to happen, because you're just going to outwork everyone, and you're going to play the game a little bit smarter than everyone else. So that's just my 2 cents and what my mindset was when I was transitioning from really failing to succeeding at the Division I level.
I agree. Me and my teammates actually were having a great conversation about this today, because we were talking about obviously playing in Boston, playing in places like New York, Boston, LA, all these big cities, and getting called up, and you know the type of imposter syndrome almost of how you feel when you're first there, and you're like, oh crap, like I'm facing big leaguers now, like am I a big leaguer? Like, there's no shot, but like you're there. And I mean, that was something I went through when I got signed. Was, I walk into spring training the first day, and I'm seeing guys that got drafted in the first round, guys that I know by name. I'm walking into the weight room, and I'm seeing Kenley Jansen and Yoshida and Tyler O'Neill, and you're sitting there going like, these guys are big leaguers, all this type of stuff. Like, why am I here? Like, I'm not good enough to be here. I uh I'm not, there's no chance. Like, no way I can compete with these guys, play with these guys. All these guys are, top 5 round picks, like, and I'm supposed to be competing against these guys and facing these guys, like, no chance. And I had those similar moments in college where, you know, you don't believe in yourself and your ability when you know that you're there for a reason. Like for all of us, right? You know, Tristan Kramer started in the outfield. I was a Friday night guy. Like I had moments of just absolute doubt, but it was understanding that, okay, I'm here for a reason. Like if I wasn't good enough to be the Friday night guy, then our coach wouldn't put me in that role. Right. And it was that same situation with the Red Sox. It was like, if they didn't believe I was good enough to be here, then I wouldn't be here. Like I would be sitting at home, you know, hoping I get a call. And for me, I got that opportunity to play in spring training. And then obviously the chance to, you know, go in to high A immediately and get a serious amount of innings and be a starter. And like, I struggled a ton. Like I really, really struggled from obviously going from facing MAC hitters, which is like mid-major baseball, to facing guys that are, you know, top prospects, you know, first rounders, guys from the Dominican that can hit the ball 500 feet. You know, there's obviously an adjustment period and there's those points of going, can I do this? Like, can I do this? And it's the belief of going, you know, kind of just what Kramer said, taking one foot and putting in front of the other, trusting the people around you, your support system, and understanding that you are there for a reason. And what you need to do is just keep focusing on what you can get better and build upon that every single day you go out there to play.
Yeah, and I think the good thing about that and what you guys are hitting on is like we didn't all start there. Like the confidence built over time by the hard work day in and day out, and then telling yourself you are really good. Like in the game, you have to believe that you are going to be really good. And a lot of people don't do that. They have a bad game and then they start fearing or they see higher velo or bad week and my senior year, I started the year. We went down to Wake Forest and we played Wake Forest. Then we go to Stetson and Pitt, even down to Longwood. And I start 0 for 19. And the doubt starts to creep in a little bit like, oh, you're 0 for 19. This is supposed to be a good year for you. You start thinking, can you even do it and stuff like that? And then at some point, flipped it around. And, obviously I was able to finish that year hitting like 333. But like there was a bad stretch. And it's not always going to be sunshine and rainbows. Like just over time, building it up, staying confident in yourself. And I saw a sports psychologist that year and stuff. And she was awesome. And just kind of building up like, believe that you can do it and like you'll be able to do it. And I remember playing in the NECBL with this kid named Tucker Flint. He was an outfielder there with me, and he went to Maryland. Didn't really have the career start out the way he wanted to. Transfers to Chipola, has a really good year, gets back to him, and then he goes 12th round that summer. And now he's in AAA with the Angels. And one of the things that him and I had talked about in the first couple weeks when we were up in Mystic, Connecticut playing, because I had dealt with it when I was, Division two out of high school, didn't really believe myself, got some confidence, turned into the player that I thought I could be. And same for him. Goes to Maryland, doesn't do too well, not confident, and then gets some confidence to Chipola, and now he's in AAA, right? And I remember he said, if you are twice as confident in yourself, you'll play twice as good. And that just always stuck with me. Like, even when it's bad, you have to believe you're good. Because if you don't, like, chances are just that doubt creeps in, and then you start overthinking, and the game will eat you up alive if you
I'm
aren't
gonna
confident.
take over on that one, Tristan, because I'm in full agreement with that. Because I heard something recently that I absolutely loved, and it was the viewpoint of, if you were able to look at yourself from an outside perspective and realize how good you actually are, and not compare yourself to everybody else, but actually see you from another person's eyes, right? And you realize how good you actually are, then you would be the best player in the world. And that was something that kind of stuck with me, because I was like, oh man, like, compared to some of these guys, man, like I'm struggling. This guy's doing better. This guy might have better stuff, like whatever it is. And the buddy of mine said that to me, and I was like, you're right. I mean, you're right. Like I have some coaches looking at me going, your stuff and everything that you're developing right now, you keep working, you'll be a big leaguer. But in my mind, it's hard to fathom that like potential, right? And have that belief in yourself to that point that you're like, can I really? Like I'm not no first round pick, I'm not this, I'm not that. And even in college, it's like, I'm not a ACC or Power 5 guy, or even in high school, like, oh, I'm not getting the offers I want or whatever it is. But if you looked outside of your body for a second and realized, okay, I'm really, really, really good. Like really good. Obviously, are there things to always improve? Of course. But like, I'm really good. So let's believe that I'm really good. Believe that I have the ability to get hitters out, or, hit the ball really well, go up there and just absolutely dominate, and have that mentality that I'm the best in the world, and have that belief. I mean, a lot of times what I've seen is I've seen guys that might not have the best stuff, might not be the most gifted, but they believe in themselves so much that they will themselves to become the best possible player, person, whatever that they can be. And hell, they end up in the big leagues, or they end up being, millionaires, billionaires, the best coaches in the world, like stuff like that, that you're just kind of looking at going, he's nothing special, but he believed in himself so much and he worked his butt off so much that he got to where he is now.
You got anything to add, Kramer?
No, I mean, that's pretty spot on. That's good.
It's funny because I bet when we were all playing college baseball together, I felt like when Kramer stepped up, like he was going to get his hit. And when Coop went out and threw, I felt like we were going to win that game because he was going to pitch really well. And I would hope when I went up that you guys thought that I would get a hit or something like that. So, and it's funny because you have so much belief in those people around you and even other people you play against. But can you believe in yourself? It's tough. That's part of the game. The mindset, is part of it. So obviously we'll cover so much more further down the road because we'll do this weekly. But we'll kind of move into the kind of next segment of this. So we're going to talk about. We'll kind of have a question of the week, and so the question this week is favorite baseball moment in our careers. So I'll let Kramer kind of lead us off there, and Coop, you think about that for a minute.
I think my favorite moment was my last at bat. I had a go ahead home run. We didn't end up winning the game, but at the time, I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. So my last ever collegiate at bat was a home run to put us in front in that conference championship game or semifinals game. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, and I will say, because Kramer might not want to brag about himself a little bit there, but yeah, conference semifinals, big moment, 9th or 10th inning.
I think it was in the 8th inning because we had 6 outs to go, I think.
Nice. Yeah. And he destroyed it. We were in I guess, what are they? Indie Ball League. So it's an old minor league stadium. Crushed it to the Budweiser porch up there in Manhattan, New York. And I was in the bullpen, and I tracked that ball down, baby. I tracked that ball down, and I said, hey, man, I need that baseball from some random guy in the stands. And he was like, okay, here you go. That's what I rated back down. So a lot of other moments that Kramer could touch on that he won't, but he led our junior college in batting average, and then he also won a Gold Glove in junior college, and that trophy's huge. Rawlings sent it to him and stuff like that. So some other
Gold Glove stuff is nuts. Gold Glove stuff is nuts.
I remember he like texted me. He's like, "Hey, like just letting you know, I won a Gold Glove," and I'm like thinking like, "Oh, like that's sick." I was super happy for him. Saw it on Twitter and stuff like that. But then he sends me a picture, and this thing is like literally Rawlings Gold Glove, like trophy this big, and I was like, "Holy crap!"
It's like the big league one. It's kind of crazy.
Literally, I was like,
"Yeah, I think it was at the time the big league one. I think they changed it up a little bit.
Okay, good.
It's pretty big."
Yeah, so Kramer's a big league Gold Glove guy, right?
Yes, he is.
He can always say that.
Not quite.
We should have him. We'll have him run a defensive segment for us one week.
Exactly.
All right, Coop, what do you got?
I probably got two. Um, you know, for me, one of the coolest moments that I had was in high school. We were playing in the conference championship. I started the game, went 5 innings. I think I gave up like one run, and we were set to win the game. And guy comes up, ties the game, or actually takes the lead for the other team. And I remember my team coming together and being like, no, like we're gonna win this game. We're gonna find a way. And we come in next inning, score a run, tie the game, and we played until I think it was the 12th inning. And one of my buddies hit a walk-off home run to have us win the conference championship my senior year. And my best friend was on that team. A lot of really good friends that I've had. And that was kind of my only playoff experience that I've had. I'd never made the playoffs in college. Didn't make the playoffs this last year in pro ball. So it was kind of my playoff experience, and it was really really sick, really cool moment. But kind of my second one was this year. I was a part of a no hitter in high A, and that was pretty special moment. I actually didn't know that. So I came out of the game, and I didn't realize I came out of the game in the 8th inning, or like after the 8th inning. So this kid Isaac Stebbins comes in the ninth, and he gets the third out, and I think, okay, good, we got 3 more outs, and we can get the no hitter. And everyone starts going onto the field, going crazy, and I'm like, wait, what's going on? It had the no hitter already, so it was pretty crazy. But yeah, no, just those are probably my two moments I absolutely loved.
Uh, my probably experiences aren't as cool as those, but I'll add. And I would say I think I do have a couple too. So one was high school. We won the state championship my senior year with my twin brother and all those kids I kind of grew up playing little league baseball with and stuff. We kind of just something, when you grow up, you want to win a high school state championship. Like it's what everybody wants to do. And so kind of do that. I would joke around. I remember we were actually in the regional semis or uh, quarterfinals, and I remember stretching. I looked at him and I said, "Can you guys believe it's this group right here? We're here, like the misfits. Like here we are, baby." And we got it. We I felt like we didn't really take it that serious. We did, and we all played hard and stuff like that. But we were like, really, like this group of guys, we're playing state championship game. Like the other team has like 3 JMU commits and a UVA commit, and like all these guys. And at the time, we ended up having big commits and stuff like that, but we just at the time not a lot of us were really committed and stuff, and so we ended up walking it off at the University of Richmond 5-4 in the last inning, and everybody dog piles, and then first base coach is running out and he tears his hamstring and does a front flip, and the crowd like he gets right back up hobbling. He kind of joins the pile, so that was definitely a cool experience. And then I would say my second one is Justin Junior College. Kramer and I, we won a regional championship there, and we got to play in the JUCO World Series out there. And we lost our second game in, and we had to win 5 in a row. And I remember our head coach saying, "If there's a group of guys that could do it, it's you guys." And great confidence. Maybe half the guys believed it, half the guys didn't, but we did it. 5 games in a row. We come back. We actually went 12 innings, and we faced Paul Gervais, who's in double or triple A with the Mets now, right, Kramer?
I
He's
think
Dang, I
up.
don't
so.
know.
I've heard the
He,
name.
yeah, okay, he's up there somewhere now. But I remember we're bringing in one of our relievers. He's like pitched 4 days in a row. He's like 82, 83 at this point. We're like, we need a miracle to win this game. And they're bringing out 6'10 LSU commit Paul Gervais, who's up to like 97. And we're like, I still had confidence, really. I'm like, come on, John, like, just get us there, baby. And we go to the 12th. Nobody scored. Our BYU commit walks, and then a kid who actually had his second labrum surgery on both shoulders, just fastball left center 2-run bomb, and we win it in the 12th. So that was a super cool experience. So super fun for us. So uh, cool
You guys went
experiences.
more. You guys went more team moment. I went individual. So now I
Feel selfish.
feel kind of weird about it. So thanks for that. You guys put me first, and I sound like I'm like just like very
Yeah.
self-centered. Like, oh, I hit a
Hey,
home run.
hey,
Yeah,
hey,
it's cool
I
moments.
didn't know
I
you guys were to go there.
I had the team and individual one,
That's
so it
true.
Yeah,
was
That's true. But yeah, I was like,
yeah.
oh, now I feel terrible about it, but it's whatever.
If I had to give an individual one, I'll be honest. I think one of the cool moments that I had. Um, I'll kind of talk about my final career. We won't get into this, but my final AB, we go single backside in the Valley League, right? I'm thinking I'm going to go play at Ohio at this point, probably and stuff, but playing summer ball in the Valley League, go backside single, still second. Heart's not feeling too good, which we went through stuff. I'm not going to get into that. And coach's like, "You good?" And I remember I'm like the next day, so single, still second, go back on defense playing short. And he looks at me and I go, like this. And he's like, "Oh, no." He's like, "Get him out. Get him out of there." Because they didn't really know I had the heart thing going on. And I remember just 5 minutes later, I'm in an ambulance all the way to the hospital. And that was my last game. We didn't have to be, but, I prayed a lot
just
about it. Kind of felt
crazy.
that's where God was redirecting me. And, but that's how it went. So cool story. I go knock, steal a base, go back to short, out in the ambulance, baseball career done. So cool moment for me there.
Oh my
I'm not gonna
goodness.
say that.
Crazy.
So
That is
absolutely.
crazy.
So this is great again. We'll do one of these every week. So for to end it, guys, we'll close every week in a Bible verse and ask these guys kind of what it means to them. But I think it's just super important, the faith aspect, because although we're baseball players and we've done it for a while, and now Kramer and I are on the coaching side and stuff, I think it's not the most important thing. You do baseball day in and day out, but what's really important is your faith first in the Lord, your family, and understanding there's bigger things in life than baseball, even though we do it every single day, right? Like, I talk to both these guys' parents, all the time. And like Coop's dad will text me when Coop's throwing, and I'll talk to Kramer's parents. But those are the relationships that you've built with baseball that are important. And so I think the Bible verse stuff keeps you grounded, understanding what life's about, and help you get through those moments. So the Bible verse today is 1 Corinthians 9:24. Do you not know that in a race all the runners run, but only one gets the prize? Run in such a way as to get the prize. So I kind of want to ask you guys what that means to you guys.
I'll go first. I think it just means kind of like run your own race. Like it's kind of like the horror and like the tortoise. Like it's not about how fast you just get off the blocks, but if you finish first and it takes more time than it should, then if that's the way it's meant to be, that's the way it's meant to be. So always just trust your process, trust your training. If we're relating it back to baseball, and always just run your race. Don't worry about anyone else, and just do what you have to do to get better. And it doesn't mean just be all selfish and do everything yourself all the time. Like you got to be a good teammate. Like that's part of baseball. It's a team sport. But when you're doing specific things in baseball, run your own race. You do your own things in the cage or and on the mound, like whatever you have to do in that specific moment. You work as hard as you can and worry about yourself and your own progress. And also at the same time, treat all your teammates with respect and do everything you can to, be the best teammate you can be.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very similar to Kramer's answer. You know, don't compare your journey to anybody else's. And obviously, it's easier said than done. Because even, I have a lot of struggle with that still. But it's kind of the viewpoint of, you know, like you said, running your own race. Trusting yourself, putting one foot in front of the other, and understanding and having that belief in yourself that you will make it to your destination at some point, and maybe you're not first, um and maybe you're not getting there at the moment or the time that you want to get there, but it's understanding that you are getting there at the right moment for you. And as long as you continue to work and build yourself up and focus on yourself and not comparing yourself to other people and your journey to other people, that you take that one foot in front of the other, that you will get to the place that you want to be and the place that God has intended for you.
Yeah, those are two really good answers. I don't really need to add anything. They've kind of hit everything, and I do agree that just, it's running your own race, and like there's all these runners, there's all these people competing, like trying to play college ball, trying to play pro ball, and from the baseball aspect, but so many other things in life, and that only one person can get that prize. And so that doesn't mean you don't run, right? Try as hard as you can to try to get that prize. And if all else fails and you don't, at least you've showed yourself and made a promise to yourself to show your true maximum potential. And like, I think at the end of the day, that is the most important prize, right? Like you ran the race, you tried to get the prize. And if you did, great. And if you didn't, like you knew what you could at least do and you knew what you could get out of it. But I think the one prize, the best prize is, having the relationship with God and, um, just having that as a resource to kind of fall back on and stuff. So, but I think, like you guys said, Cram and Cooper, I think you guys covered it perfectly. So,
Hey, no regrets, baby. No regrets.
no regrets. Do you
No
guys have anything
regrets.
else to add?
No. Episode one,
Mm.
you guys will be hearing more from us as we keep going week by week. And yeah, it was a pleasure to get back on the conversation with these guys again.
Oh, absolutely. Any remarks, Kramer?
I'm good, man. I'm excited to get this thing rolling. I think we have a lot of good topics, a lot of good like episodes that we can really touch on that'll bring a lot of light and information to guys that need it. So I'm excited.
Yep, I would agree. We'll just keep bringing the knowledge and sharing our story, guys, and putting drills and stuff and helping you guys out. We want it to be a source of entertainment for you guys to learn from us, some education, and then the drill aspects and stuff like that, so you guys can kind of incorporate that. But we greatly appreciate you guys joining in, and we hope that Dugout Talk episode 1 was good for you guys. So we'll see you guys next time.
I'll make sure to get a ring light for next time too, so I'm not in
Yep.
the pitch black. So,
Yep. All right, guys. Peace.